But obviously this is a special national conference because it's been nearly 100 years since the first health clinic of what later would become Planned Parenthood opened its doors to women in Brooklyn. And for nearly a century now, one core principle has guided everything all of you do. That women should be allowed to make their own decisions about their own health. It's a simple principle.
This is Brother Sykem coming at you from the heart of North Philadelphia. This is another Key Life Productions. And for real, this video is more about Dr. King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. than anybody. I'm just throwing up there to show you that Barack Obama is another so-called black man that supported Margaret Sanger, and he support Planned Parenthood because he just said it's been about like 100 years since the first clinics opened up in Brooklyn. That's letting you know right there. The video that you see what Ben Carson is talking about, it confirms what he's going to say about how they spreaded the different clinics all around, you know, black neighborhoods in Brooklyn, and there's probably some here in Philadelphia that I ain't never seen. And I remember coming up, this is the school I went to, Belmont Elementary School out in West Philadelphia. I always, you know, when I started looking at things for myself, I started wondering, like, there's main people that they push up to do book reports on for Black history is Harriet Tubman. Once in a while, they like they would say, they always say Harriet Tubman. They always say Rosa Parks. Sometimes they would throw up Frederick Douglass, but they always put up Dr. Martin Luther King. That's one that they always put Dr. Martin Luther King up there. But we're gonna talk about that a little later. Right now, here's a video from Dr. Ben Carson, who actually opposed the Margaret Sanger, the Neanderthal Margaret Sanger, and Planned Parenthood.
Well, you know, maybe I'm not objective when it comes to Planned Parenthood, but, you know, I know who Margaret Sanger is. And I know that she believed in eugenics and that she was not particularly enamored with black people. And one of the reasons that you find most of their clinics in black neighborhoods is so that you can find a way to control that population. And I think people should go back and read about Margaret Sanger, who founded this place, a woman who Hillary Clinton, by the way, says that she admires. Look and see what many people in Nazi Germany thought about her.
That she was for targeting certain races, right?
A great person, yes.
Now, why was Dr. Martin Luther King always pushed to the front to do book reports on so-called Black History Month? First of all, the crackers that killed him, the crackers that hand-to-hand killing him, they killed the man and then they give him a holiday, right? And they always pushing book reports up on people, you know. So this kind of makes me think. Dr. King, if you go back and do your research with Dr. King, right? Him and Malcolm X was always talking about getting together, but I think they got together like one time. So there's a little build on how they was becoming more like each other. Dr. King was beginning to see more and more of what Malcolm X was talking about. And someone even said, and I got to try to look this up, I haven't found it yet, that Dr. King, before he died, said that he may have been wrong about what was, you know, about what he was doing. So I'm looking at this, and so if he was saying that, okay, man, I might have been wrong about trying to get everybody together with these crackers. Well, I know he didn't actually say crackers, that's just me. But trying to bring white folks and black folks together, it's just not happening because white folks really don't like us. So if they got the whiff of that he got any, thought like that in his head, as powerful as he was, his voice can just draw a crowd all by itself, no matter what he's talking about. And that's one thing I love, his voice, and I love his speeches. But, when I was little and I was coming up, I was just jumping around like everybody else. But then I had to think, if Dr. King had woke up and stopped being naive to the fact of trying to get us together with white folks, he could have did a lot of damage. So the cracker had to get rid of him. They had to get rid of him right then and there, and so that everybody would have just that memory of what he did in his lifetime, and will go no further. So now they can make a holiday for him, and they can make a statue for him, and they can make put a Black History Month and all this here garbage, and now they doing Black History LeBron James. Come on, man. People come on, stop it. So what they wanted to say, what they wanted to do was keep it fresh in your head and keep it fresh in the generations that come after that heads, the things that he did to try to unite people, try to, take after Martin Luther King, try to be at peace with your fellow neighbor and your brother and everything. Meanwhile, they kicking our ass, killing us in the street and everything, while we trying to follow that dream. All right, so now we come to the part where I talk about Dr. Martin Luther King accepting the Margaret Sanger Award. Now, this is the thing. Dr. Ben Carson, he lived, at the same time, Dr. King was born before Dr. Carson, but Dr. Carson, he just like everybody else, just like any other black person or more, whatever you want to call us, had a mind to know what was going on with Planned Parenthood. Maybe back then when Dr. King is in fact his wife Coretta Scott King accepted the award. Here you see a picture of Coretta Scott King accepting the award, and it's a picture. I have a picture of dog-faced Hillary Rotten Clinton, right next to her. And as you can see, the award is the same award. So that right there is evidence that Coretta Scott King accepted the award for her husband because he was out in Chicago doing some other things. He couldn't actually be there. But an acceptance speech Dr. King gave. It says, this is the acceptance speech that they say that he said. Now mind you, I'm not saying he said it. This is what I'm getting that they said. I haven't seen no video with him saying it. So it's for you to decide. It says Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Gave an acceptance speech at the event. And the words, when receiving the award on May 5th, 1966, it says, our short beginning in the struggle for equality and nonviolent direct action may not have been so resolute without the tradition established by Margaret Sanger and people like her. This is what Dr. King supposed to have said, his acceptance speech, for Margaret Sanger. And in the previous video to this, you can go back and you can see when they said the word. You can see it is an article of when Dr. King actually praised Margaret Sanger for her work. And now this is the thing. I'm trying to figure this out now. Malcolm X, I don't know what he said, if he said anything about Margaret Sanger, but I sure would like to know. Dr. Ben Carson caught on, and I'm sure other people caught on back then. Now Dr. King is supposed to be a minister, and he's a Christian minister, so that means that he is that he believes in the God in the sky. And I have a couple of quotes from here, and as you can see right here, Miss Coretta Scott King is on stage with Robert Schuller. And we all know Robert Schuller ain't nothing but a scamming ass cracker, scamming ass white boy that take millions of people money. And Coretta Scott King is on the stage with him. So it suffices to me that that Dr. King and Coretta Scott King believes in this same cracker ass God that's in the sky. Because here she is right here on the stage with him. And I think she got some kind of award here or something like that, but you can go check the video out for yourself and you can see. Now this is supposed to be God. This is supposed to be a man of God. And for all you Christians out there who believe in Dr. King and everything, now I just proved to you on my previous video that that neanderthal bitch, Margaret Sanger, created eugenics and created Planned Parenthood to bring over here to control the population of black folk. And for real, I think it's for the control of everybody, but it's especially for the control of us. The reason why I say that is because Margaret Sanger, to my knowledge, she was one of Hitler's folk. And over in Germany, you know, a lot of you might not know, they was trying to make a pure race of people. And the Aryan race or some shit like this. And they was actually trying to breed people. And the weak, they would put them through all kind of tests and everything to see how they can run, and you know, they could survive in cold weather and all kind of bullshit like this. And the weak people, they took and did horrible things to them. One of the things they did to them was throw them in a damn cage, or some kind of place where they had hungry dogs. They would throw them into these places with these hungry dogs and lock them up, and the dogs would tear them apart. And so Hitler was about, you know, his own people, about making a race of perfect people. And I think this could be the basis, or where the Neanderthal, Margaret Sanger, probably got the idea. That's the reason why I say I think that it's also to control humanity, period, but it's especially to control us, because Margaret Sanger actually said, you know, the shit she actually said about black people. But back to Dr. Martin Luther King now. He was supposed to be a Christian preacher, right? And it's supposed to be this God in the sky that is controlling everything. This is one of the quotes from Dr. King to prove that he believed in this same God in the sky that Robert Schuller believed in. Use me, God. Show me how to take who I am, who I want to be, and what I can do, and use it for the purpose greater than myself. Use it for a purpose greater than myself. Here's another quote. Every genuine expression of love grows out of the consonant, and total surrender to God. Let me read that again. Every genuine expression of love grows out of consistent and total surrender to God. So this is saying, yes, they believe in the sky daddy. They believe in... Now, I read that to say that for all the Christians out there, for all the people who believe in somebody up in the sky that's coming to save us, like, for real, if this was a man of God, if this God was talking through him, why didn't he tell him about Margaret Sanger? Why didn't he tell him what Margaret Sanger was up to? I mean, it was so clear, I don't even know how he couldn't catch it. Some people just go right on and say that Dr. King was an agent. I'm not going to go that far. I think he was more naive, and the white man used him to unify people under that Christian God that they gave us so that they could continue doing their dirty work. Because as long as people followed him while he was a Christian, it was cool. But from what I know, I mean, not from what I know, but from what from what I heard, you know, he was beginning to kind of wonder and kind of see it. I want to do something on that too, but I'm going to do some researching on that. And if anybody out there knows, you know, exactly, you know, more on that, I invite you to come into the chat and, you know, school me on it. But like I said, but why didn't this God, you know, tell Dr. King that this eugenics thing was wrong, that Margaret Sanger was a racist? And back to Obama, I was reading an article about Obama and infanticide, saying that a baby that is due for abortion that somehow survives can be actually taken out the womb and injected with something so that it can actually finish the procedure. And then there was an article, I'm going to find that article and I'm going to post it about a hospital that a nurse was horrified to find out that like 14 babies was actually thrown into a trash can and, you know, and just left there to die after a botched abortion. Now, whether Obama actually supported this, I don't know. I'm going to actually, you know, definitely look into that. If anybody know about that, you know, I invite you to come talk about it. Because I did hear something about Obama saying that, you know, it wasn't the way people think. But I'm not going to go into that. I want to actually find, you know, the facts on it. But it does look pretty suspicious. He's standing there talking about, you know, Planned Parenthood. And it's no way you can tell me that Obama don't know about what's going on with Planned Parenthood, because the damn person that he supported, the damn person that put it together, Margaret Sanger, there's no way you can tell me Hillary Clinton don't know. Dr. King, you know, there was a limited supply of information that you could actually see what was going on back then. You know, there was no internet. There wasn't no Facebook. It was none of these phones. It was just newspaper. So I'm thinking that, you know, Dr. King was on the naive side of things. I'm sorry to say that, you know, trying to unite us with these crackers. But he might have been like so busy that he might have just thought it was a good thing, and he never probably really looked into, you know, any documents or anything of what Margaret Sanger was talking about. Because, you know, the only thing that I know about it is what I read to you. I never heard about Dr. King knowing anything, you know, else about that. But Coretta Scott King, I'm trying to see about this now, because she actually lived all the way up into the days when we got it. You know, but let me see, what year was that? I'm not sure what year was that when she was on that stage with Robert Schuller. But because he been around for a long time scamming and frauding people. But she was more into the age of information than her husband was. But for real, I do know that it's no way Obama don't know, and there's no way Hillary dog-faced rotten Clinton don't know. And anyway, the president is part of the damn system anyway, so he's going to go along with whatever the system want him to do, or he'll just end up like Kennedy, you know, with a bullet in his head. But you know, it's for you to check this out, you to decide whether you think Dr. King was a fraud, whether you think he was naive, whether you think, you know, he was being used. But in fact, I have come to the conclusion that he was at least being used to keep, you know, people in a certain place. And that's why we gotta get rid of that religion, because as long as we believe in these crazy ass gods that's gonna come save us, you know, we always gonna be, you know, in a big fucked up mess. Whether it's Allah, whether it's Yah, or whether it's Jehovah, whatever. And he believed in that God, that Jesus Christ, that Christian God, was going to pull us through there. And all they did, all the cracker did, and some coons used him to get in our heads to believe that peace was the way, while Malcolm X was over here saying it by any means necessary. That's why, you know, you really don't see Malcolm X brought up a lot in Black history. You know, the teachers don't come out and push Malcolm X or Marcus Garvey, and you don't hear nothing about Noble Drew Ali. But although I have a little bit of issues, you know, in, you know, every category, that goddamn fraud ass Louis Farrakhan's still around, and he done changed up the words of the great Malcolm X. But anyway, I'm go through that. That's a whole nother story. But you know, I like for the people to weigh in. You know, tell me what you think about the video. Tell me what you think about Dr. King. Was he wrong? Was he right? Was he naive? Was he an agent? You know, the Hebrew Israelites big on calling him an agent. I think it was just being used, and he was too naive to realize it. But anyway, you know, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. And this is, you know, one thing I like to tell everybody that hears this: no matter what, no matter who your master teacher is, no matter who it is, if you find out, and no matter how much you follow him, no matter how much that you're idol and you love him and everything, if you find out that something that he did was wrong, or, you know, something that he said was inaccurate, or some of his teachings, you know, wasn't up to par, you find out for a fact that it wasn't, you know, don't keep trying to make it like it was. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Dr. York. I don't care if it's Malcolm X, Dr. King, Elijah Muhammad. I don't care who it is. Don't keep trying to make it like, you know, that their teachings is right and exact when you find out something that's 100% not fact, or something that's just straight wrong. We got to get out of that. We got to get out of that. Anyway, this is Brother Sakim signing off from Key Life Productions. Until next time, peace.